Okay, let's see what do we got. I want to see if we can. Yo, what up? What is going on? I wonder if I could multi-stream. Hello. How is it going? Alright, we're at 12 o'clock. We're gonna look for some overnight weekend swings. As well as trading NQ. So let's see right now. Can everyone hear me all right? Let me know in chat. I got mad echo. Options, yeah, I'm gonna be looking at options. I'll be looking at options. I wonder if we run this at 20. I'll be looking at options and weekend swings potentially, something light, nothing too crazy. There's a couple of setups that kind of I'm looking at. Let's see. Hey, thank you for the sub. Which stocks? Right now, I'm kind of looking at. Someone was putting quantum on my radar, and I had. Let's see. SMCI looks like it's kind of looking ready to set up. USAR, really good buy up today. Almost no sellers on volume, which is really nice to see. A bit quiet though. Okay, I could turn my mic up a little bit. It's because my mic might be kind of far away from me. I can get up real close and personal. I can get in your ear if you want. Dell. Let's take a look at Dell. Dell's actually one, it's got high IV percentile. It broke out originally over like 470 up into this 514 all-time high. It's currently holding above the 50 moving average right now, so I probably would wait. I think Dell, it's one of the stronger names that's kind of held up through all the volatility. It's probably going to chop like sideways around 440 for a bit. Check SPY. This is like kind of awful looking, not gonna lie. I kind of wish that SPY came down to kind of test this area between like 755 and 760, and now we're kind of just dojiing out. So it's basically flat. Not a whole lot to go off of, to be honest. NBIS, I have some short puts on NBIS. I do think NBIS probably it has to hold here, or we're seeing 200 or less. If NBIS comes back down to like 160, I'm slamming the buy button down there, but probably not super likely to get down there, to be honest. AOI sounded like he was licking my ear. AOI is one that I'm trying to get into at 115 or less. We do have this gap below 120 to 110. So I think we probably fill this gap. And like, I don't really do price predictions really, but if I had to like kind of project out what I think the stock is going to do in the future, we're looking at this gap fill at 110, settle here, and bounce back up. We could see a retest of the 200 moving average at 100, so just keep that in mind. You know, if you want to get in early, you know, you might take a little bit of drawdown there, I think. NBIS, I like NBIS at 200 or less. TE or Fermi, if I had to choose between the two, probably T1 Energy. But I don't think I would touch either one. I mean, these stocks are getting crushed for a reason. Like, down 80% all time is like kind of rough for me. So I probably wouldn't touch it. I know that it's famous, like TikTok famous stock right now, but for me it's not worth. Marvell. Okay, so Marvell had a lot of upside momentum, but as you can see, it's being Marvell. Marvell, I probably would only hold. I would only hold shares for Marvell right now because it is indeed quite choppy. In that, there's not really a whole bunch of follow through. If I look at a lower time frame, there's not really a lot of nice clean movement. It's up and then back down, up and then back down. So it's kind of hard to trade with options. I mean, you could try catching this nice up move and then getting out quickly, but that would be it. Did I ever check APP? No, I haven't had a chance to like look at APP in depth, but right now it's still trying to find a bottom, so I'm gonna wait. You know, April lows from last year are at 200, so you know, still got another 100 to go. It's somewhat in no man's land right now. So it could bounce between here, but I would probably wait for momentum to shift to the upside before capturing. DRAM, yeah, DRAM's one that I like using cash secured puts on because the implied volatility is high, and it's, you know, it's ETFs, it's a little diversified. Yo, Aaron G, thanks for the sub. I don't know. I don't remember the ticker for Fiserv. If you could put the ticker, then I can type it in, but because it's not on my radar. Am I gonna trade this late in the market? I may or may not. Is this Thinkorswim? Yeah, it's Thinkorswim. Nvidia's kind of interesting because I'm not really looking to trade Nvidia right now. I'm looking to just kind of hold what I got. You know, I got 40 on this account. BSX. This one is also a TikTok stock right now because insiders bought a lot of shares and it's down quite a bit, right? Boston Scientific. But, you know, momentum's kind of shifting. Maybe it gets a retest of like 46 or so. MP Materials is coming back to life. Kind of. Yeah, I'm bag holding MP Materials right now. But let me go back to NQ. Let me see if I can find a trade on NQ. Okay, so we kind of rejected this, but pushing back higher. What's up, Bilson? How is it going? What do you think about iron? I think iron probably goes back down to sub 40 first before bouncing. You know, it's stuck in the middle of the range right now. Kind of it got sold off before 50, sold off before 46 on the daily chart. So I'm looking at like this mid-range here. So bottom of the range. If it's gonna hold 40, it's gonna hold here and bounce back up. If it's not, it's gonna break down. So I sold the cash secured put at 37 for $2 or $200. So then my break even is gonna be below that. But I have, it has earnings coming up soon on 8/27. I want to see if I can catch a trade today on NQ, a winning trade. Dude's finally live. Yeah, I'm finally live. I'll probably I might do a nighttime live stream tonight. I'm kind of feeling it. Are we gonna reject and sell off? Am I selling? I'm not. What do you mean? What am I selling? Do you have any book recommendations? Unfortunately, I do not. The only trading book that I'm currently reading is Trading Volatility. And it's by Trading Volatility by Colin Bennett. It's a free ebook. This is kind of like just a no chop zone. Or like this is like a no trade zone. Like look at this. It's very tight range. Whole bunch of nothing. If I get Morty's, do I also get your calls? If you if you join either of our VIPs, yeah. I have my own server, but are there any good entries today? There might be a couple good entries, but I'm looking. Do you know any ETFs or stocks which hold a lot of Anthropic? Well, Anthropic is a private institution right now, like a private company. So, you can only invest in Anthropic indirectly. So by like owning like Google. Let me look at what Tesla's doing. Is it going crazy still? Wow, up 20%. Still going crazy. He's trying to fill this gap at 370 in one go, I guess. I'm looking for a trade, guys, I promise. I'm looking for one. But in today's environment, it may not be the move. SNDK might be interesting. SNDK kind of flagging out. Might need another day or two. Not a whole lot of movement. Currently well within its daily range. Have you mastered trading? No, I have not. What you'll come to find is trading isn't always, it's always changing, right? Environments change, macro environments, macro regimes change. Different stocks are in play, things like that. So you'll never really master markets. You'll master the tools that you need to deploy in certain market conditions, and then you'll have to identify when those market conditions are optimal for whatever you're trying to trade. So no, you don't master trading. There are some things that you will master, like certain mechanics, but when it comes to deployment of those mechanics, there's no such thing as mastering that. Because even some of the best traders, things like that, right? Because it's all probability based, people still lose. How old am I? I'm 27. How am I feeling about SoFi? Uh, I'm not in SoFi, but if it can break above 19, 20. But SoFi, if you've held SoFi through all of this, you're not well, it depends on if you bought up here, but if you bought like here, you're just range bound. So like if it goes back up to like 19 and a half, it might just go back down to 15, right? So I'm not really interested in SoFi. Market is slow as molasses right now because it is. If you don't know what OPEX is, it's just options expiration for the monthlies, which means what you're looking at is a lot of low volume chop. Not exactly something that you want to trade. There was a good V today on NASDAQ. Good sell off, good recovery, and now we're kind of just slowly grinding. What about Netflix? Netflix is an interesting one because Netflix, if you look at their fundamentals, Netflix is what I would call it would be undervalued fundamentally. It was really good at 65, right? If you were able to get it at 65, you're having a good time right now. The only thing is I don't see a catalyst for it to go back up to where it was, at all-time highs. How long did it take you to become profitable? Only a few years. Bull and Hood after their earnings. I like Hood more than Bull. Thoughts on Nvidia earnings? I probably wouldn't play Nvidia earnings because they can have really good earnings and still crash. And if you're playing options, even if you think it's gonna crash, you probably still lose because the implied move will be so much so that IV crush will get you. Zeta is a good one, but if you're not in Zeta already, I wouldn't chase. What software am I using? This is Thinkorswim. What's going on with AMD? That's a great question. AMD had really good earnings. I think it's just trying to find some new price, like some price acceptance up here, which is fine. Let the 200 moving average catch up. It's fine. But I probably wouldn't trade options on AMD. AMD looked like it wanted to break out on Tuesday, but no follow through. Did you watch a lot of YouTube to learn trading in general? I read a lot of online forums and online guides and watched YouTube, yeah. Car alarm, yeah. Someone's breaking into my car. What's my main source of news? So I currently have CNBC, Yahoo Finance, Reddit, and Twitter. Those are typically good enough. I mean, if you want like really fast, you could get like a Bloomberg terminal for $25K a month. But no one's got time for that, unfortunately. Do you think Hims is hitting 40 next week? Okay, so that's a crystal ball type question. If I knew that for sure, I would get long, right? But I don't know that for sure. If I look at if I wanted to be like kind of where is it? I have Hims on my list here. Oh my god, or maybe I don't. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hims. I'm 40 next week. You're crazy. That's way up here. That's like it's like almost, yeah, it's like two outside of the range kind of days up to on the upside. I don't think Hims hits 40 next week, to be honest. It's going to hit some supply zone up here between 36 and 40. Gold calls for next week look good. We can take a look at GLD. I mean, really nice rounding out. We're above 420. You know, if you're gonna get gold calls, you know, you are kind of chasing a little bit. It's already up quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. You know, I would target 440 possibly. What about Xpeng and ANF earnings? I think ANF will do. So neither of those stocks I have on my radar. So I have no idea. Like, I know a lot of stocks, but I don't know that many stocks. Like, I don't know every stock. Nice bounce off of the 105. It's kind of got this gap that it was trying to fill previously. It's got earnings coming up. Last earnings, stock price kind of shot up, but I don't really know much about ANF, unfortunately. We're just chopping. Like, this just doesn't look super tradable, to be honest. On the 1 minute time frame, lower highs. Are you in crypto? I know I don't trade crypto. That's the one asset that I really don't touch. I did trade IBIT. I traded IBIT, which is technically like trading Bitcoin. It's very similar. What can you explain what you mean when you say it's trying to fill the gap? Trying to learn chart analysis right now. Yeah, sure. So like, let's see, Tesla. Tesla's a good example. So all a gap fill is when you see price jump from one price down or up to another price. And what the gap fill is you're looking at price trying to go from the bottom of the gap to the top of the gap. You know, if it's a gap down, trying to fill the gap up. And what you can kind of like, if you think about it, about what it is, right? If price gaps down, it's got to fill a bunch of orders to go all the way down, right? So then, as it's looking to get back in here, price doesn't always, wants to fill gaps. So then there's different definitions for it, but people will call it equilibrium. They'll call it, fair market value. It's basically, if price dumps or jumps, price may come back to that level at some point. Reason for it is because the buyers and sellers balance out at some point in that area. So like if you're trading Tesla, right, it gapped down, it's kind of, it's selling off, and then buyers start picking up. They start picking up, and if you're a buyer of Tesla, you're thinking, oh well, they had really bad earnings and we gapped down, but buyers are starting to step up here. Maybe you want to trade this breakout above where the gap down opened at 340, and if price opened at 340 and pushed higher with volume, which it did on on the 19th, you might be inclined to try to get calls or buy shares to get this gap fill, because you know that the market likes filling in these massive gaps in price. Why do you think iron is down if Bitcoin is up? Because iron is ironing. I mean, it's just how iron is. So I wouldn't put too much thought into it. I don't know if I'm gonna take a trade though. Like, this is like, today is just terrible. Like from a volume. And the market's doing nothing. Like, I don't see a good entry. I mean, holding 80 here, getting some volume at 420 and above might be okay. But we could just do this the rest of the session. Now I'm kind of just looking at what could we swing. Well, Broadcom kind of holding the 360 again. Interesting. You know, it's the 200 moving average on Broadcom. Is it worth buying calls down here with a stop at 350? Let's see. Let's look at the... Yeah, a lot of open interest at the 450. Good volume on the 380s. I know SpaceX is hard because it's new, but what do you see from the chart? So SpaceX fundamentally is overvalued. Double topped at 150. You know, got a lot of buying on 8.7. If you could get SpaceX at 120, it might be okay. But it's still overvalued. CoreWeave getting crushed. This is a snoozer. Robinhood, I think Robinhood probably goes up to 120. Not gonna lie, like there's a lot of volume today, a lot of buying. Bias to seller ratio is really good. I think it needs to hold up here though. I really want to buy Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom, it looks to be holding the 360 area, but we'll see. How long can it hold? If it can hold 360, it might be decent. Oh, one of my analysts just went long. Should we follow him? Should we follow my analyst? Could try getting long on NQ. 95. Do I get long, guys? What a mid-session to live stream, huh? Very quiet chat. Well, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on today. We could try longing 400 here. Long 400, try to capture 20. Break above here. Maybe I got greedy. Is Wi-Fi on your radar? Think it will recover from dilution risk? Same boat as NBIS? I haven't been following Wi-Fi, but I hear good things about them. There was an analyst in my server that was really bullish on them. Okay, so NQ is trying to pick up a little bit, which is good, but can it get above 410? What stocks am I most interested in? Right now, I'm most interested in getting into MU and NBIS, but I don't want to chase the move. I wait for them to come to me. CoreWeave was one that I liked, but it's very weak. MP Materials, ASTS starting to catch a bid. Oracle, I probably won't touch Oracle until it gets back down to like 120 or so. It's just like Oracle has so much debt, and a lot of their backlog is victim to the circular finance issue. This 15-minute looks okay. Let's see what the candle closure looks like. New 5-minute, new 15, and new 30 just opened up. Last 30 minutes of the session. Let's see if we get a nice push up. What is NQ? NQ is futures. Can't find it on. Yeah, it's because not every platform has futures. So like I don't know if Webull has futures. I know Robinhood has futures. Futures. Sorry. Okay, so we need to close this out strong. Buyers really stepping in on this 30-minute open, which is good to see. I want to see it close above 410 ideally. So this is the part of trading that it's kind of boring. You buy or you sold, and now you just wait. And now we wait. I could drag my trade to break even here if I wanted to, but Western Digital and Ayer, yeah, Western Digital is good. Same with Seagate, Light or Lumentum. Coher is another one that was sold off quite a bit. See, I want to see multiple green candles in a row. This chop action is like Showtime. So cute. Cure? You mean cute? Hopefully, maybe. How do you feel about SLS? I have to find some time to do some research on it. Did you get into NQ? Yeah, I'm currently long NQ at 29,400. Currently up about 6 points or so. Nothing crazy. I want to see it go through 410 up into this 420 area. Still long here. Have you tried trading meme coins? Oh no, I don't trade crypto. Good time to start a position in Western Digital. Let me see. Western Digital maybe at 400. You know, if you get Western Digital around 400 and it goes back to all-time highs, that's a double right there. Aher, I am bored out of my mind. Like this, today's market's kind of just rough. I did have Robinhood calls, so that was good. Robinhood calls were good for 100%. Aher, not a lot of great action, but if I was to accumulate, it'd be down here around 70 to 80. Come on, NQ. Do something. Anything. I beg. Have you checked QQQ and SPY? Yeah, I did. They're doing a whole lot of nothing. If you look at the daily chart on both, it's just like small body dojis. How long did it take me to become profitable? Only a few years. I never really lost that big, if that makes any sense. I did have a lot of early long-term investing winners, so that helped. Too late to enter? If you're not in longs already, might be, but it's, look at it. Look at this price action, man. It's just a barcode. SMCI, I would give SMCI a couple of days. I think it probably chops here for a bit before possibly going for another leg higher. Looks okay. You know. Right side of the V. See what ES is up to. Even ES is barcoding. It's crazy. Barcode everywhere. Will they run these wicks up into 410? I'm also not seeing a whole lot to swing over the weekend, and because, you know, we have Trump and the Iran war and literally everything, I don't know if it's even worth it to swing. SK Hynix is a good company long term. If you can get it on a downswing, might be good. Yeah, so they are doing stock buybacks, and they're also paying out bonuses to workers. So like if I wanted to get SK Hynix, I probably would get it at like 150 or less. Celsius CLH, right? This one was on my radar because it was getting really cheap fundamentally. They had an earnings gap down. It's filled. Kind of looking like it wants to set back up for a nice push above, you know, like 34 back into like 37 to 40. Robinhood making me proud, but it needs to get up to 119, 120. Silver is one that was on my radar. Nice little breakout above 60. Thoughts on FN? FN is what? Fabrinet, right? Yeah. Fabrinet, kind of a, you know, earnings were okay. Gap down. Fabrinet, if you can get it down here, sub 400. It is below moving averages right now, so just be careful. You will be buying something that's going against momentum. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're getting a decent, possibly decent push above 400. I'm gonna move the stop break even. I want to see a nice clean push into 420. Can we get the push into 420? MSTR, yeah, MSTR will follow Bitcoin. So if you think Bitcoin's gonna go up, MSTR is just a leveraged Bitcoin play. Guys, what should I get for lunch? Let me know in chat. What should I get for lunch today? a jam sandwich, Panda Express, tacos. All interesting options for sure. Can we get a close above this, please? Just like one good push. Just give me. I mean, okay, so I can't lose money on this trade in particular, because I moved my stop. 1.25 points in the money. But I would like it to push above this, but we might not get there. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, that's a lot of selling off the 410. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out, and that'll be it. And I'll be happy I moved it break even. Yeah, that's it. It needed to get past 410, and I'm okay with holding that into break even, because if it pushes above 410, the 420 would print, and that's where the next level of selling was occurring. But it's rolling off the 410, so best to have a break even trade than let it go red, because I see it probably dips back down to this area in the last 20. All right, time to look for a weekend swing of some variety. Switch here. Today was a good day for hood calls, and Tesla calls, evidently. Tesla was just a monster today. Too late to buy MP Materials? I wouldn't say too late, but I would want to get MP Materials closer to 55 or less. Right? I mean, MP Materials, it has a little bit of momentum today going into close, so might be decent for a buy if you want to like follow the momentum higher up into 62, 69 or whatever, up into here. We are getting some nice closes above moving averages, so that's a good start. USAR is an interesting one as well. USAR and MP Materials both setting up for a nice swing into the weekend. If USAR can get back above 20, we're getting a nice close. I'm looking at this, right? You could swing shares back up into 30. Might be decent. See what AOI is doing, yeah. A bunch of nothing. AMD. I might do a weekend watch list live stream tonight on TikTok. So if you want to be there for that, I'll ping it in chat. We're getting close. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty tight. I like it. Is USAR worth chasing? So USAR, Alloy, and NP Materials, all same boat, right? They're all rare earth, picking up momentum because Trump said something 2 weeks ago. Is it worth chasing? Only chase with what you're willing to lose. I currently don't have USAR shares. I could be inclined to buy a couple of shares here because I do think it could find some strength back up into $25 from 20, right? And that's what is that, like a 25% gain? Wouldn't be bad for a swing. Let me look at the September plus or minus is only $4. So from here, to get a 25% gain, you're going to be looking at an outside of the range for the next 4 weeks. Plus minus is $4, right? So the market is basically pricing in 123 or 115. So you have to look at the range of outcomes here. I do think USAR has some upside potential up into this, 123, 125. Am I going to post more educational videos? Yeah, I can post more educational videos. It just depends on what people want to learn. Because I can make all kinds of educational videos, but if no one's gonna watch it, what's the point, I also prefer NP Materials over USAR. NP Materials on a fundamental level makes more sense than USAR, in my personal opinion. USAR huge run today. Yeah, I mean most of the rare earth stuff had a nice run today. This has been a pretty snooze session. I apologize. Maybe we'll have to go live on Monday when there's a little bit more action and not a lot of news. What do you think about Johnson & Johnson? It looks good. It does look good on the hourly. It's kind of flagging a bit. Could be a decent swing. I should go live again on Monday. Well, yeah, so it comes down to if I'm available. But I'll give it a try. Your room sounds like a Fortnite chest? What the hell does that mean? Well, I don't play Fortnite, so I have no idea what the hell that means. It's kind of crazy. Ah, okay. So I got stopped out of my trade only for it to go to above 410 back into 420 and more. I'll still stand by my stop. I think my stop is fine. Wow, a couple of points below, and they're really gonna send it back up, huh? It's actually pretty crazy. Teach us how to buy and sell cash secured puts and the benefits. Okay, sure, I could do that really quick if for the people that are still here, and since I'm probably not gonna take another trade into close. Oh, like the white noise? Yeah, I gotta figure that out. I think I have a lot of I'll have to fix that. I think my microphone settings needs updating. Isn't this kind of crazy? I got stopped out by 2 points, and now it went back up 30 points. That's kind of a lot. Okay, so a viewer asked me, can I explain cash secured puts? Easy. Okay. Cash secured puts. I'm looking at NBIS. This is my example. NBIS. I told people not to chase at $275 or more. Wait for it to come back down. It came back down. Okay? NBIS is currently trading around 220. We'll just say 220 for simple purposes. NBIS is at 220. If I want to buy NBIS, I can go to the options chain. And on the options chain, if I want to buy NBIS for $220 or less, I can sell a cash secured put at 220 or less. So let's say, NBIS is currently at 220, but I think NBIS will go to 200 or less, or like stay around 200, but I want to get paid. So the way that we do this, or the way that I do this, is that NBIS is at 220. Well, I think NBIS could go to 200, and it may hover around there, or it'll stay above 200, depending on your objective, right? If you want NBIS at a specific price, you might choose a strike that is closest to its current price. But say NBIS we don't want to get assigned. Say we want to just collect premium on NBIS. Maybe I sell the 180 strike. The reason for that is because the odds of NBIS going down to 180 is much less than the odds of it going to 200. The difference between that is reflected in the premium, right? So the 200 strike premium, right, for NBIS, right now on September 18th is $200, or sorry, $1,200. At the $200 strike for $1,200, I'm basically saying that I'm willing to buy NBIS on September 18th if NBIS is $200 or less. And because I'm willing to buy those shares at $200, the market is willing to pay me $1,200. So what does that mean? If I look at the chart, right? NBIS is currently up here at 220. If NBIS comes down to 200 and goes below 200, my cost basis will be $20,000 minus $1,000. I'm rounding down here so the math is easier. So my total cost to buy NBIS will be $20,000 minus $1,000. So my cost basis is actually $190. So the strike price is at 200. But my actual cost basis or break even is at 190. So what happens here is if NBIS goes below 200 and I get assigned, then my cost basis will be 190. So as long as NBIS is above 190, I make money on this trade. Okay? Now let's say NBIS is at $200 right now, and I think NBIS will not go above 250 in the next 30 days. I could sell a covered call, and what this is telling the market is that it's telling the market I'm willing to sell my shares at 250 if NBIS goes to 250 or above. You're basically telling the market when you would want to buy or sell the stock. If you're selling covered calls, you're telling the market you're willing to sell your stock at that price, and if you're selling cash secured puts, you're telling the market you're willing to buy at that price at expiration. And it kind of helps with your cost basis, right? If you want to acquire NBIS but you don't want to buy it at 200, you want to buy it lower, you can. You can just go to the options chain and sell an option at that price. So like I'm on an account that I'm willing to actually sell cash secured puts on, so I could do it as an example, right? If I go here, I'm looking at I I probably want to go. Actually, want to go a little bit closer in expiration because theta decay works in our favor. My rate of return, right? I'm looking at my rate of return, which is going to be the total amount of money that I make from the contract divided by the total cost it will cost me to acquire all those shares. So let's see, the delta on a 200 strike is roughly 29 delta. So, you know, that's roughly 30% chance of going in the money. I don't want to buy NBIS too high. So maybe I sell the 190, which is good for the spread's kind of terrible, but it's fine. So if I sell this cash I could put at 195, it'll maybe get me a fill at $760. $760 divided by 19,500 is roughly 4%. 4% in 21 days is very good. That's about 1% per week. So let me just, I have a different tool that helps me see if that's worth my time. That kind of helps me calculate this because the implied volatility on NBIS is fairly high, but the IV percentile is not. So I do want to check before pulling the trigger on this with 4 minutes remaining. Yeah, NBIS's implied volatility percentile is only 23%, so it's not amazing. I want to make sure. Look at this. The 190 would be better here if I'm looking at this. 190. Technically 180 is better, but 180 doesn't pay. It's 2%. 2%, 2% for 15 delta, that's pretty good. I'm looking at the total amount of money I can make versus the probability of it being in the money, and if I actually want those shares. The 185, I shed $200 worth of value, but it's a whole 5 delta less at 3% for 21 days. That might be worth it. So we'll give this a shot, actually. See if I get a fill. I might not get a fill. Because right now, NBIS kind of looks very weak. I kind of suspect it will come back down to 185, which would be back at its earnings gap. I'm not getting a fill. It wants me to shed 0.3 off. There we go. Okay, so I just executed this trade. And basically, I'm telling the market that I am willing to take NBIS shares at 185. And the market is willing to pay me $530 for that. Which is roughly 3%, so it's not terrible. So I make money on this trade if NBIS stays above this value in the next 21 days. So let me type this one out. 4, 5. 30. 9, 11. And that's it. What am I trading on? I'm trading on Thinkorswim. And that's it. That's the market close. Wow. Oh my god. So the market went all the way up to 430 and then dumped right off. That's kind of nuts. But, you know, it makes sense for OPEX day. They're just trying to pin it in this range, I guess. All right. Well, that's it for today. We didn't find anything really, like, very good, to be honest. So, like the sound alerts. So, no, that's literally just the platform. The platform does a little ding-ding when the market's over, and then I do like the sounds on Thinkorswim. They're very nice. There's no, like, talking. It's just dings. But anyway, I might go live later tonight, so make sure you're there for that. I appreciate the people who did stop in today. Really appreciate you guys. And if I do go live later tonight, I will ping. All right. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully you guys had a good Friday. Made some money. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.